pop. It's going to blow your mind and you're going to get frustrated. I shouldn't say that. It's just a lot of material. And I'm going to go through it as we go. So the slides won't, like they might trigger a memory, but really if you want to go home and implement, you're going to need the recording of what I do, because to get through everything in 2 hours, I've got to be fasty fingers. So you can kind of just semi-watch and semi-implement. You can kind of zone like Netflix a bit, but you might want to join in a bit. But if it starts getting too hectic, just chill, just kick back.
And she's got
laugh at my bad jokes.
A copy of the
slideshow. If you go here, bit.ly/MailChimp Berta, you can access the slides.
Oh, okay.
But Julie will email you this link. And with the recording, a link to the recording, so you don't have to retain that information if you don't want to. Just keep back. I thought I'd do a quick introduction in case you haven't met me before, because there's a few people I haven't met before. My name's Natasha, and I'm a marketing consultant, and I have my own business. I help people a lot with email marketing, also website development, or really more, well, I do a lot of websites now, but I also really help people make their website work in the flow of the customer journey. So it's one thing just to have a website, but to have one that is helping guide your customers from unknown to brand advocates is a different thing. So that's more my specialty. I'm a mum. Sales funnels is that process that I just explained, where someone doesn't know you and they go through a whole big journey and then they end up loving you and raving about you to everybody. And business technology coach has to do with, there are occasions where I support people in business who know they need tech and they really struggle with it, and there's a part of it where I actually sit with them and help them to understand how to use certain technologies. So I do some coaching as well. While we're here, let's do a trip around, because I haven't met a bunch of people. We could start with Julie, just maybe the same, your name and your business a little bit.
And can I apologise? I have not explained. Exits are downstairs, exits up the end of the hall, no smoking in the building, toilets up the end of the hall on the right-hand side. That's pretty much it.
I forgot welcome to country for the Indigenous people who are the traditional owners of the land. Goosebumps moment. Okay, Julie.
So if anyone has any questions about anything, just ask me. And thank you, Natasha, for coming along tonight.
Pleasure.
And doing this for us. Sapphire Coast Business Networking, and I network from Burmagiri, Bega, Eden, Marimbula, with events, whatever I can pull out there as far as networking or workshops. And I've got a big networking event on 21st of June, which I want you to come along to and tell me what you want for the next 6 months, because I've cancelled 4 events this term, and I think, well, what do people want? So come and tell me what you want. We've also got, I'll do a quick vlog here, Pamper Me Day this weekend on Saturday. And yeah, Trish coming along, Bonnie's going to be there, we're going to be pampering people. And I'm also giving away about 15 tickets to people that were affected from the Carter fires. Thank you.
My name is Isabel, and I'm working with this restaurant, with the marketing and all that.
Which restaurant?
Wheelers.
Oh, cool. Jackie might be here. She said she might come along. She could get here. Okay, thanks.
My name is Bonnie. I own Thrive Eden in Eden, massage, and so I just need to learn how to connect with my clients outside of the shop. Yeah. My name's Kylie. I have an online business dealing with intuitive and mediumship readings, but also teaching people how to do what I do. So MailChimp has been my nemesis for about 18 months, and I've resisted it. And so one of my friends flicked this to me and said, you need to go. So yeah, so most of my business is purely online.
Hi, I'm Trish of Sapphire Coast Wellness Centre in Bega. What was the question?
Just kind of baby.
Who are you?
Oh, okay, so I do naturopathy, so I help people regain or attain their optimum health and vitality. And I'm here because I've got no idea what activities are.
Great. Bev, I run an online administration business, so I do office management for various people in various places all around the
offerings with MailChimp, but I'm just here to learn a little bit more because I want to get one of my clients to start using it, and until I know what I'm doing, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, great.
I'm Jill, and I own Hello World Travel and Group.
Suzanne, and I have a herb business, but I'm just kind of on pause and getting all the information getting online with the e-commerce thing that I've just broken along.
Cool.
Yeah, it's just slow.
Do you think I can help this a little bit?
I just at the moment it's feeling like the next thing I deliver, I actually just want to do it really incredibly well. And I'm just going to take some incubation
That's what I'm
time.
doing. I got something, and then I'm like, wait, I have to,
Yeah, it can be a lot.
crazy.
Yep. Thanks, guys. Now I feel like I know everybody. So why MailChimp? Email marketing is really helpful because social media is very noisy, and not just that there's lots of content, but also then Facebook has the algorithm that affects whether your content even gets seen or not. So email marketing is a great opportunity to get into people's inboxes as long as everything goes right with the sign up. They've said, yes, I want you, you're in, and you can speak directly to them, and you don't have to negotiate the algorithm or a kafillion other people and all of their noise. And in that way, you have ultimate control of your branding. You don't have to deal with Facebook's branding around the edge. You can just deliver your message with your branding wholeheartedly. So you get control of the color palette, of the mood that you create for people when they see your email. So you transport them somewhere when they look at your email. It gives them that feeling of what your business does for them. MailChimp's free, so that's why it's a good option. It's actually not my favorite. If you want to deliver really high level email, there's different options that are better, but in terms of somewhere to start, it's a great place to start. And if you cut your teeth here, you'll get frustrated and then you'll be ready for the next thing, which is more complex. But if you nail this, you'll kind of be ready for that next level of complexity. Email marketing works. I work at Pip Magazine. They're one of my clients, so I work there a bit, and we send an email and then we get sales. So it absolutely works. You can sell more if you talk to people because there's so much in their mind, and it's easy to slip, to let their priority for the thing that you're going to help them with slip away. So you just pop up and it reminds them, oh yeah, I do need to focus on that thing, and they can go down that wormhole. And you can make it look really professional. Like rather than sending a Gmail email, MailChimp lets you brand it and it lands in the inbox looking way more spiffy than just a standard email that's been delivered from your inbox. I'm hoping to cover all this tonight. Importing contacts, just the dashboard and the features of that. What's a campaign? What's a list? There's all these jargony terms inside MailChimp. Templates, sign-up forms, and automations. So hopefully in a couple of hours that will be a bit clearer for everybody. Let's see. So usually the first thing people want to do, so everyone's got their MailChimp account?
No. Get on the thing.
Okay.
Yes.
Sweet, that's okay. So when you have your MailChimp account, you log in and you're usually looking at, let's just choose this gorgeous client of mine to log in as, because I don't actually use MailChimp anymore. So
My verification code goes to the phone that I've got left at home.
oh wow, this one. Okay.
Ah.
Well, come on, little friend. I'm not a robot. Don't be silly. Oh yeah. Great. Maybe I should try someone different.
I'm trying to remember my password.
Who else? Who else could we log in as? Come on, MailChimp. Don't misbehave so early.
I have to go and get my code too.
Phil.
Oh, you having trouble too?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
MailChimp.
Get in my phone.
Why I don't play with MailChimp so much. No, man, it's just too many. I've got too many clients on MailChimp and I've got all their logins here. So sorry. I thought I was all logged in. Copy. Paste. Oh, you funny old sausage.
I think I logged you on once before.
It's highly secure because people's email is their private content. So there's just a lot of hoops. If you don't get it right now, you see it's giving me the captcha because it thinks I'm a robot. So it has a very high security request for your password. Like you'll notice when you started your account, had to have a letter, a capital, a number, and a special. It's like, yeah, they're into the security. I might have to log in through mine. Sorry, guys. Yeah. That's the name of my business.
Mine's like 6 digits, is it? Yeah.
Okay, let's go in. Come on, baby. Okay, groovy. Let's use Susan. She's awesome. Okay, so when you get in, eventually, it should just take you straight to the dashboard every time. And your dashboard just looks like this. And it may look a tiny bit different because you haven't sent an email before, but I'm guessing everyone looks kind of like this. Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's a pain.
Well, I don't remember my
So when you first open an account, you don't have anything. So even importing contacts, you won't really be able to do that yet because you need a list to add them to. So lists are groups of contacts. And the first thing to do is to create a list. So you can click on lists up the top and then just click create list. I'm going to just make a dummy one as we go so you can see what it looks like. You just give it a name. And then it wants your email address that you're going to send from. It's better if it's not a Gmail address, if you can. Send it from a hosted, like mine would be at natashaberta.com. So if you can not use Gmail, that's better. Because what will happen is people who use Gmail or something that sorts their mail for them, if it comes from an email address that's at gmail.com, it will usually get put straight into spam. Whereas if it's from at Natasha Berta or at Suzanne Milligan, like it's more likely to go in someone's inbox than their spam folder.
So I've got Gmail.
Oh, yeah.
That I use for my business.
Yeah.
Would I have to create a whole other?
It's something you might consider in the future, is acquiring a domain. Mm-hmm. Have you got a website yet?
Yeah.
So usually you can open an email account with your domain hosting. Okay. Yep. In fact, you're allowed, most hosting, you're eligible for 5 email accounts. And then it would be, even still, you should be able to. Yeah, I think so. You can always contact their support. Wix support's pretty good. And then the default from name should be your name or the business name. So my business is my name, but if you like to use a business name instead of your personal name, or I might here put Berta Marketing, then you can just ignore. This is just to do with where it's hot. Yeah.
Sorry, is it better to put the name of the business or someone's name?
Well, I think it's better to have a person's name. Yeah, it's more personal, but that's as long as the people that are going to receive the email from you, when they get it from your name, that makes sense to them. You could even do it your name at or so-and-so from Wheelers. Do you know what I mean? As long as when people get it, they go, who's Isabel? So this campaign URL settings is just to do with when you make an email and you send it off to people, it all lives off in the cloud in MailChimp's cloud land. So you can host it on your own domain, but for beginners, let's just make it from beginners. You can just leave this alone. You don't have to do anything about this. And this little reminder is, you know, people are going to get an automated robot message from you when they're signing up. And it's going to just go, you join this list, or, you know, are you ready to, you know, or travel, or, you know, let us help you with your travel, or it just depends what your business is. Mine's usually, are you ready for a transformation? So I try to connect to the aspirations of people and what they aspire to in their business. But you can speak to pain points if that works well. It might just be hi from Wheelers, or it's just a little simple thing. It's not a big deal. And then further down, this is the address. This is just important from a business perspective. They just want to make sure you're legit and you're not a robot sending out weird internet porn. Form settings. So now this enable double opt-in means people are going to get a reminder. So they get Hey, Vanessa, that's all right. They get the first email that says, please confirm your address, and then they'll have to click this button to confirm your subscription. So there used to be a way that you could just opt in by just popping your email in a form and it would happen, but double opt-ins are more secure.
Sorry, I have no idea where you're at in relation to that.
So click list. You've already got a list. How you fancy?
How do you go in and check what you've done in your list?
The list settings. Once the list exists, you can go and look at the settings. I'll show you that a bit later. Yeah. This is just if you're brand new and you don't have a list. This is the little step-by-step thing it runs you through to start a list.
So can I just start with like another one?
You could, totally. If you click that, then you'll be looking at this same page that I am.
That's what we
So are we enabling the double opt-in?
Well, you can, but you don't have to. And then GDPR is a new European convention that's been introduced. It's only just since the Facebook shenanigan. I don't know if you know about that, but there was this big security breach with Facebook, and since then a lot of companies have tightened up their security measures. So the GDPR fields basically say, I do want marketing material from you, and if you plan on marketing to people in Europe, then you need to enable GDPR fields. So it's great. The MailChimp just picked up really quickly. They've set up this whole process, within a week or two of the Facebook stuff. So let's just welcome everyone who's new. Vanessa, hello.
Hello. Sorry.
It's okay. I'm recording. I'm recording, so it'll be fine. If you log in and go to the top, there's lists, and then you click that, and then you just click create list. And if you already have a list, you don't even need to. You can just have a biscuit. Notifications is just, and the other person who just arrived. Sorry. Hello. Hi. Hi, Kathy. Hey, Kathy. What's your business? Ginger Yep, ladies. Oh, cool, nice. Here's the sign. It's just for the login. Oh, that's okay. Okay, and then the notifications is to do with when you get a new subscriber, whether or not you get notified. So you don't have to tick any of these. You might just be like, dude, that's just going to overload my inbox. I don't want to know about it. But if you're list building and you're getting excited about it, it can be really nice to go, oh, I got a new subscriber. Or if you're running an ads campaign and you are aiming to get new subscribers, then it's sometimes helpful. For me, one by one would, like when you're in a period of getting lots of new subscribers, that's going to just clog your inbox like crazy. But you might like that. And one by one unsubscribe. So that would be every time someone unsubscribes, you're going to get an email. So that's totally up to you. I just leave all them. I don't want to be notified because I go in and check it anyway. But you may like to be notified. Then you just click save and off you go. You have a list. I didn't enter your name. Oh, yeah. And then you have a list. I didn't write this either. I know. Are you ready? Is my classic short one. Very strict. So now I have a fake list, but you probably have a list with a nicer name. And you may end up having multiple lists. I recommend you have one that's called something like main list, but not main list, because the people who receive emails from that will get that when they get an email from you. It sounds a bit tacky, but it's one list that that's kind of where you're sending your newsletter from. And then you may create other lists for little other spontaneous breakout things that you do. And in the end, your goal is to get everybody onto the main list where you can just be sending them a regular newsletter. I'd say in the short term, that's a great first step goal.
Give you an example. Mine would be Sapphire Coast. This would be in networking mailing list. And then there'll be the Bega mailing list, Bermaguri mailing list, Eden mail list, so that I'm not notifying people in Bermaguri about an Eden event.
Yeah, well, that's really practical. And you may have parameters like that in your own business where you've got geographical breakdowns, or you might want to break down people in a different way depending on how they come to you. And this brings us back to the first step back here, which was to import your contacts, because now you have a list, you're ready to bring people into the list and start emailing them. So you might have contacts from, like if you're a masseuse or a therapist of some kind, you may have people's emails because they came to see you. But legally, you're not actually allowed to just send them marketing materials. That's in Australia, that's against the law. There's another legality in Australia whereby if there's a sign-up form, you can't have the tick automatically ticked. In the US, they just have the tick automatically ticked and you have to untick it. But in Australia, you have to have an empty box and people have to opt in. So it's not an opt-out, it's an opt-in. That's just two legalities to do with email, and there are a lot. But I would just say if you have a big fat list of people, don't just assume that they want marketing materials from you. What I would do is create your list. Later on, I'll show you how to get the little link to add, that people can add themselves to the list. And then send them an email from your Gmail account saying, guys, I've just gone to the next level. I'm in tech world. I'd love to be sending you marketing materials. Well, you don't want to call it that because that sounds shit ass. Maybe like, I'd love to be telling you more information that's going to enrich your life, or the latest updates, or something that gives them value. Would you like to be receiving these emails? Go to this link and sign up, and then you'll be able to get emails from me because I can't send them to you otherwise. So if you word it well, people will probably want to hear from you, and then you can move people over from your Gmail into MailChimp. But otherwise, don't just send them MailChimp emails. It's naughty.
Can I ask something too?
Ticks you off if you're on the receiving end.
Totally. We all know how that feels. Yeah.
I've had some issues a few times where I've had a mailing list and I've exported a CSV because I've gone from Tidy HQ to this, and I've transferred them all over, and all my unsubscribes have now been resubscribed. And I've, oh my God, and so I've had to go through manually and find out which ones had unsubscribed originally, because when you export it and then re-import it, it takes them all as new ones. So you need to be really careful if you're taking from one mailing.
You're like in another dimension to these guys. They're like, what is she talking about? What's a CSV? So a CSV is a spreadsheet, basically. Column separated values is what CSV stands for. Is that not right? Yeah.
Sorry?
Comma separated values. So when you export the data from a spreadsheet into some other data format, it separates the values with commas. So if you have a big fat spreadsheet of people, that is the best and easiest way to get people into MailChimp. If you have a teenager, you can pay like $5 an hour to put it into a spreadsheet for you. That's a really good idea. Or if you're smart and you want actual good support, like actual quality delivered. Yeah, because teenagers probably just eating twisties or something. But it's not fun, doing data entry. And if you have a lot, you're going to want help from someone amazing to do that. So get it into a spreadsheet, and then you can import this. You can do this. You can import contacts. The other way is manually, which is one by one. So I'll also run through that. It'd take you yonks if you had a big list, but sometimes you've only got 5 people and it doesn't feel like a big deal. So now you have this list. It says you have no contacts. So here's your options. Import contacts. You just click that, and here it is. You can import them from a CSV, or you can copy paste from a file. I've never done that.
Sorry,
Integrated service. I've never done that. Oh yeah.
So mine says view contacts. I have no contacts. Oh,
Yeah. And then there's just import contacts. Sorry.
Oh, simple as.
Yeah, it's just a little clickety. They do want to make it easy for you, sort of, I think. So I haven't done these other ways. It's probably pretty straightforward. Most things in MailChimp, you just click it. You probably won't break it. But CSV is easy peasy. I'm trying to keep it easy peasy. You just click next down the bottom here. And then you just find the file in your computer and off you go. And you just press open and boom, it's going to import all those contacts. The other way to add people.
Isn't it gonna want to know the headings for those CSV files?
It does go through that. Maybe I should do one. Should I find one?
I don't have a, can you go back? I don't have a square or rectangle under my thing like you just.
Where?
I mean, I got in there differently.
And next down the bottom.
I went through here. I had contacts, but I didn't have the. How did you get to that page?
Well, you need a list that has no contacts. Yeah.
You have a contact.
Well, maybe it's helpful if you're on your own list, so that when you send out campaigns, you experience what's going on.
Sneaky.
Well, look, I found it here.
All right, I'll try and find a CSV. I don't know if I've got one. Desktop. Who's the person who's got one? Bitly.
So can you just manually write in a...
Yeah, I'll do that too. I'll just try and find one here. A CSV. I have no idea where one will be. I'm very tidy. I tidy everything up. Oh, I'll come back to that. So the other way to add contacts is manually. I'll just do that first. When you click add to the CSV, it goes through this little process where then it brings up the list of the names and then the last names, the email address, and you have to go through and manually click like keep this column or skip this column. So I'll try and find one maybe in the break that I can demo it for you. Oh, wake up. The other way to add contacts is you just click add a subscriber, and this is very manual. You put in their email address, their first name, last name. If you have this data, you can put this in. Any of this data you can put in, and then there's this one. This person gave me permission to email them. So that's that legal issue I was telling you about.
How do you get that page again?
From the list page, so lists, and then your list, you click on the name, and then add contacts is one way, add a subscriber. There is another one here. If you're in the list of lists, see this woman has a lot of lists. You can just click the head add. All takes you to the same, all paths lead to the same end of entering the person's info. And then you just click subscribe and they're on your list. Okay, and then once you have people on your list, what's next? What's next? The dashboard. This will be helpful because you can just Netflix me now. You don't have to do anything. So the dashboard you get to by clicking the monkey head. And there's all these weird words like campaigns, templates, lists, reports. There's this create button. What the heck's that about? This drop down thing. What is all this stuff? So, and also you have all this information here. Mostly I ignore all of this because I know what I want to do. But you could swim around here and have a look at all the different things that are available. They're probably trying to help you. And the statistics are always super helpful. But I'm usually just pretty clear about what I want to do. I want to send an email. I want to add some people. That's about all I do on here. That's all you want to do. You just want to send emails. So campaigns is the word they use for when you want to send an email to a bunch of people. I don't know why they call it campaigns. I think they're trying to be fancy like marketing, because in marketing you have a campaign, it goes for 3 months. It's the focus of your marketing for that period of time. So it's actually not really a campaign. It's just you sending an email, but they call it that. It sounds pretty fancy. Templates is an opportunity to either use their templates or you may have your own templates. And I'm going to go through templates tonight briefly, but it'll still be happening. Lists, we sort of know a little bit about lists. It's basically just groups of contacts. And reports are great because you can go and you can see who clicked, what percentage of people opened, what links they clicked, and all that kind of information. So that's all really helpful over time. And any kind of marketing activity, you want to look at, I did this and then this happened. You want to look at your outcomes like science. It's helpful to look at the whole process. So if you can bring yourself to look at a bunch of graphs, it's really helpful. You can choose by campaign or over time. And what you'll probably see is when you start, you may have a small list, less than 100, really highly engaged list, like 50% open rate. And then as your list gets bigger, like once you get up to a 10,000 person list, your engagement's going to go down. But because the quality of your leads is probably going to go down. So when you're broadcasting to like a billion people, the chance of you really nailing it and finding your ideal client are less, as when you are talking to an intimate group and then you know, oh, these guys here all trying to grow their business, so they're all probably my ideal client, and they're probably going to open my emails because they think I can help them. So then as that goes up and I'm just running Facebook ads and I've got any person just clicking my ads and joining my list because they want my free ebook, then they're not as likely to open my emails. So That's one trend that you'll probably see. And then you might see other trends like to do with time of day that you send your email, the day that you send your email. Yeah, I like statistics, but I'm weird. Let's see what happens if you click create. Woo! You can do anything. You can create an email, an ad, or a landing page. That's a kind of new button. In here is all the important information about your account. So if you want to change the name of your account, just notifications if you do something wrong against them or they have updates or information from you. That's kind of how MailChimp talks to you, through notifications. Switching account is something you may not have, because I am a user. Once you have your account, say Vanessa's got her account, her business is blowing up and she's got Bev to help her, so she's created a user for Bev. So Bev signs in through her MailChimp account, but she can access Vanessa's. I can access, like I've got loads of people who I help, and so they've made me users of their accounts. So if you do that, that's what that is. Good luck. Profile is just how you show up in the little icons. So that's, your picture, your name, your details. Connected sites. Let's not do that. That sounds complex. Account is important, and that is to do with whether you're free or paid, but there's also all these other nifty drop downs, and we'll go over a couple of those later. And log out, pretty straightforward. Dashboard. I think I did all of it. Psst. Does anyone want to ask anything about the dashboard?
No questions, believe it or not.
No, that's good, because it's 6. It's 6 already. Okay. Oh, look, MailChimp workshop. My computer's helping me so much. Okay, the dashboard. Campaigns, templates, lists, reports. We did all that. So let's get a campaign going. This has got a lot of steps in it, so it's probably going to take a little while. And we'll just make a pretend one for now. What did I say about it? You just click create campaign. There'd be a button there somewhere for it. We'll go through all these things. Okay. Oh, so we could use the create button, or you can click campaigns, and if you've sent a bunch of emails before, it will look like this, but if you haven't sent any emails, it won't. This is all the emails she's ever sent before. It's got her open rate, so 32% open rate, which is actually 13 people, 1 link click, all that fancy stuff.
It shows all like little things as well.
Yeah. It's pretty good. It's pretty schmancy. So there's another create button here, create campaign. Any button will do. And then we want to choose create an email.
Campaign name.
So this is, like it says here, this is just, it doesn't tell you. This is just for you. The clients don't see this. So sometimes you might organize it by date. It's something that's going to remind you when you see a big list like this and you're like, oh, where's that email I wrote about? It's helpful if you give it an title, so that when you're hunting, because I was doing dates for ages, and then I found it's just too, I was like, what did I even do on that day? So it's helpful if it's related to the thing that you're saying. And then you just click begin. And here we go. So if you have a brand new list with no one on it, you should still be able to make an email. You just go through this little process. So you click the add recipients button and choose a list. So you may only have one list.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
No, I'm good. I'm actually where you are. But for me, you're going through so fast that I can't write notes down and click where.
You don't need to. I'm recording it.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and so then when you go, so you can kind of Netflix me. You can just kick back, have a bicky, and then you can work through this at home with the video. Yeah, because if I don't pace on, I won't, like it's, yeah. I feel like it's better to deliver a lot and then you can take home and implement, and you will have seen it before at least.
And then I'll be able to log in when I get my other phone.
Okay. Yeah. So this is good to do. You've got your list, and then you might segment by any of these things. You might want to send it only to the women, only to the new people, only to the people who open emails, only to the people who never open emails. There's all kinds of options. And this is a great one, is personalizing the to field. I just read some statistics about this the other day, is when you put the person's name, which you choose by choosing first name, it's more likely to go into the right inbox and not into the spam. Very nice little feature that is. I need a subscriber. Just ignore that. Hopefully it'll just help me, so, you know, it'll let me keep going. This is helpful, who it's from, if it's someone they recognize, someone they know, something that's known. If it's just from the brand name, it might glaze. Like, but Wheelers, I feel like Wheelers would be all right because people know that. But if it were a big brand, like sometimes I buy some jeans, and then the next thing I'm getting an email from like Acme Fashion. I'm like, who's that? Or even not even the word fashion, like ABC Incorporated. And I think, who is that? So it's helpful if you choose something that people will remember. Subject line, this is the one that people will see in their inbox, and it actually shows up depending on your mail delivery service. I'll just try and make this like, so you can see no subject. This is just a client. Oh, I'm in her. Let's go to my main inbox. So, you know, community grant applications are now open. That's their subject line. And then all the rest of this light grey is the, what did MailChimp call it? The preview text. So, you know, that can make the difference between someone opening or not opening. If it piques curiosity, if it's reminds them of something, if they've got it's something they really want, there needs to kind of be a hook there for people. And you can look up blog posts about how to write a good subject line, or MailChimp have support on how to write a good subject line. Apparently emojis do well. You might see heaps of emojis in your inbox nowadays, and they're sort of never used to be. But then that depends on your brand. So you might have a highly professional brand, and you want to assure people that you're really reliable and professional. You wouldn't use emojis, but yeah, it's personal. No emojis for Bev. I often don't put preview text because it will immediately just rip the first 2 sentences out of my email. So I don't bother, but if you want, you can choose what shows up. And then the fun part. This thing is such a beast. Like, it really drives me crazy making an email in a MailChimp. So
remember, we're just you can do it.
Sorry, what was your recommendation earlier besides MailChimp?
Well, ActiveCampaign's my favourite. It's not cute. It's not pretty, and you know, this is kind of cute. It's got a monkey and it's kind of fun. ActiveCampaign's like a serious business platform. It's blue and white and it's boxy, but the automation capacity is incredible. Yeah.
That's the one I've had recommended.
Oh, it's my favourite toy for emails. So these are their layouts. I can't stand them. I'm just like a free angel. I don't like being boxed into parameters. If you like, someone's going to hold my hand and it's going to make shapes like this on my page, do this. That's cool. There's themes. This is even more like, images and colourful stuff, and like the particular font that they've chosen for you. You might go, oh, I could make mine look so fancy like this. Have had zero luck making my emails look anything even close to this, because once I start putting my content in, it all morphs and goes weird, and I just get super frustrated. So I'm a blank canvas kind of girl. I go for layouts, but I choose basic or simple text. Like, I go with nothing. I don't want them bossing me around in there. It's a nightmare.
I have that trouble with Canva.
Yeah, look. I'm a big simple text fan, or just, it's up to you. After tonight, you can go and have a play around, but I recommend maybe taking a Valium beforehand or something, because it's really like drives me crazy. It's hideous. This is particularly ugly. Let's go
Now,
back.
I thought you were going to encourage us tonight, because I had the same issue. I thought, right, Natasha's going to convert me over.
I can't lie to you, Julie. It's infuriating.
Can you import other ones into it? Is it?
The goal, I reckon, is to just make one good campaign in your life and then just keep churning that baby over.
That's what I want.
This one I just chose was not bad. It was just the top one. It's not too bossy. It's just like got a picture. We're going to be able to delete some stuff. It's kind of centrally aligned. See, it's got grey and white. Even that annoys me sometimes. Grey around the edge and white in the middle. You might not want that.
You can change all their colours. You go and you change the
Simple
colour.
text was ugly. I'm going with one column. You choose your own adventure. Let's see what
But
happens.
you can change those colour backgrounds.
You can do. You can. It's just.
So did you just go for the very first one?
Yeah. Yep. Unless you're a graphic designer, I don't reckon you want to muck around too much. Like.
I played around with it.
Yeah, well, you know,
You would love doing that.
she got no kids. She just got her own business. That's it, right? Some of us have got things to do on the weekend. So this is kind of a standard layout. You've got the little view this in your browser thing. So if people get it in the inbox and it's a bunch of HTML garbage, they can click that button and they'll be able to view it hosted by MailChimp in MailChimp land in Safari or in Chrome or wherever, instead of the inbox logo. I reckon that's a fairly good thing to have at the top, your logo. It's not a bad option. And then some words, that's pretty helpful. And then you've got your social shares, that's pretty helpful. And then this bit down the bottom, you actually can't get rid of unless you pay for MailChimp. This is what they call the monkey badge or something. But you do need to unsubscribe from this list. So like legally people need to be able to unsubscribe. So I reckon just leave that.
Oh, so does that mean if someone clicks that button from your email, MailChimp looks after the unsubscribe part?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit, there are good things, don't get me wrong. I just don't want to puff you up and think we're going in a magic fairyland or anything, right? Because it's pretty frustrating. So I would leave that, and then for this, say we want to edit this bit, you click it, the top, the logo, it won't even click. Come on. Oh no, it's open. So over the side here now, we're going to edit the logo. So you can click replace. And then here we are in the media library. So you may not have anything in here yet.
I don't have anything in here.
So you just click upload and then you just find some pickies and import them in. Your logo is what we're looking for. Logo. The best one I reckon is a PNG file with a transparent background. If you have your logo and you don't have it as a .png file with a transparent background, I don't even want to talk to you.
Ooh, okay. Well, that's pretty clear.
Because then I have to go and make one and it's a total pain. Your graphic designer should have given you that when you got your branding. And if you haven't seen a graphic designer, that's cool. Make it in Canva. Just export it as a .png on a transparent background because it's just magical. It's got no white in the background and then you can put it on a colour picture on anything and it doesn't have all the white space looking ugly.
I missed this step when you go to upload.
Yep, here we go. Let's go back. Yep. Yeah? Yep. Upload. It's just that this is an existing account. Yeah, so you might have, any pic. I've probably got one. Here's Mandy. We'll put Mandy on. I probably won't put Mandy in because Susan will wonder what the heck I'm doing. But basically, you choose a file and you click open and then boom, it'll upload and it'll appear here. Now, the best size for photos for MailChimp is 550px wide. Try not to go wider than that because you'll just have to edit it inside MailChimp. But MailChimp fantastically will change the size of it. So say we chose this. We click it and it's got the little ticks. And then we choose insert. I'll show you how it works now. So here we go. So this is 940 by 788. It'll tell you. And you can click edit and resize it. So if it's wider than 550, it'll just hang out the edge of the email or it'll be too big a file. It might be like a 7 megabyte. If it's the one your photographer gave you, if you're looking fancy in the forest, it's probably like a 32 megabyte photo. It's way too big. It needs to be less than 2 megabytes and yeah, it's narrower. So look, you click edit and then you can choose resize. And then I always just arbitrarily type 500 here. It automatically scales it and apply, and now it's the right size for MailChimp and for inboxes. And sometimes you'll upload one, have a big error message here, like too big, will max out inboxes, and then you just click edit and make it the right size. Now the next thing is save and close. And so over here, you can see there's all these little fancy things you can put in. It's quite good. You just grab one and drag it over and decide where you want to put it. So you might have a picture, a bit of talk, another picture, or you might have a video. If you want to have a video, come on, where are you? Where's video? Why is there no video? Can you see it?
Yeah, they're there.
Oh, thank you. There it is. So you just drag him over. Ta-da. And then if you want to put a video in, you just put the URL. They like it if it's Vimeo or YouTube, but you can put a Facebook link in, and then it won't have a preview image, that's all. It won't be able to preview. So then you can say, let's do this. We just put some other random URL, and it'll usually say, it won't do it at all. Fine, let's just choose another one. Come on, little friend. If this were a video. Sorry, we can't generate a preview image. So then you can just click browse, choose a photo, put it on top, and that will show up. I usually make one like that Mandy one with a little play icon on it. So I'll show you. You can make an image like this. So it's just a photo, just has a sticker that looks like a play button on it, and you could put it in the place of the video. And when they click it, it'll still take them to the video. What else could we do? There's one formatting issue I want to bring your attention to, which is like taken years off my life probably, is when you click this, then you're editing your words over here. If you just use this default thing they have here, just try and write something and it'd probably do it for me because it's just so heinous. Oh, it's just so hideous. So what I do is I delete all of this. Just delete it and start again, and then type something and then highlight it and choose your font. Choose one of these. They don't really have that many. Choose one that's the closest to your brand font and choose a size. You take charge of that formatting. Don't let MailChimp choose the formatting. That's my mega tip. That's going to save you heaps of grey hairs and, agony. It's just, infuriating. Give me some content. I just need some words. Does anyone need a hand with anything? Other than everything.
I'm not sure I'm quite with you.
We're making the email that we're going to send to people.
So you're just grabbing some input to put in the text.
Yeah. I want something to format. So it's already just taking control. When it says font and size, don't listen to it. You have to go and highlight it and choose a font and choose a size, because I can't explain it very well with words what it does. It wants to take charge of what size things are. It messes up the formatting. It makes it really ugly. Headings become bodies and bodies become headings, and it's just a nightmare. That's about as ugly as an email's ever been. Then there's other cool stuff you can do. You can affect the line height, because for me that's too dense. I like about a double spaced. I'm a huge fan of space and short emails. Like people who send those mega newsletters, they scroll and it's like, and my link to this, and my this thing that I did, and that. I don't think that works with email. I think you want to have a really clear purpose for why you're sending an email. You just want to get straight to the point. People are busy. They don't want to hang out in their inbox and read your life story. So send a short, succinct email with clear calls to action, like, this new product here, click this button to check it out, or this event that's happening here, click this button to check it out, or here's this thing that you can do right now that's going to improve your life, and give them a quick tip. They could go away and have a positive experience. It gives them a positive brand association. Like Suzanne gave me that tip about lemon verbena, and then I went and made a cup of tea and I felt really good. And now every time I think about being tense and wanting to feel better, I think about Suzanne and lemon verbena. So if you can give them something actionable in the inbox, you're winning. And double space, there's all kinds of stuff. You can change the size of things. You can click every button, go and have a little party in there. You kind of can't break it. You'll just send yourself bonkers with wasted time. So I'd try and keep it simple, and I would never have a big block of text like this. I really like breaking it up, and I like also messing with the font size. So I'd be like, oh, this is something I want to really emphasize. I might even make it bigger, vary the size of things, and just keep it interesting so people can skim and they can quickly get some information that's helpful. The first time you send an email, you want to click this social shares thing and go in and edit all of these, because this is just going to send people to flat out to Twitter, to Facebook, or to MailChimp. But you can put your website, you want to have / your Facebook name. You probably want to get rid of Twitter, because who's even on Twitter? Add another service. You can put your Instagram, because
I just shut my Twitter down because they've had that violation of password, so I had to use it anyway.
exactly. It's more US centric or Sydney centric, but I don't know anyone down here who's really, well, I know a couple of people, but it's not likely.
Oh no, I got it.
Yeah, sweet. And then you can leave this alone. I also recommend creating a little sign off for yourself. It might be your bio. So down the bottom, maybe even after the social shares, a picture of you and a little bio of what you do, because sometimes a friend might get an email forwarded to them, or you kind of haven't heard from someone for ages and you kind of forgotten why you even subscribed to their newsletter. There's just a little picture of you and a reminder of Trish does this, you know, or Bev does this, and this is what she's all about.
And
at
so
the bottom.
how do you add that? Is that just the same story?
I would probably grab image and caption and put that down there, and then I'd change it so that it's I want the caption on the left and I want the image on the right, and then I'd put my picture here in the same way that we did before. Content is the stuff you're putting in. So then I'd click browse and choose my photo of me, and then I'd write my little bio here. And it could be small. It doesn't have to be very flash. It could be your mission statement or your vision, or just something there so people know who you are and what you're on about. That's about it, I reckon. Oh no, the other favourite thing is buttons. Don't put links in your email. It's really ugly. Use this cool thing. If you're going to use MailChimp, you may as well make it sexy. So get a button, drag it over, and once we make one email that we like the way it looks, you can use that as your template. I'll show you how to do that in just a tick. But basically, you would change the word. But Buy Now is so bossy. Learn More is known to be more successful for clicks than Buy Now, because Buy Now is a bit of a commitment. They might not want to buy. It's just a bit too intense. They're not ready for that. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you do want them to buy now. If you do, then use that, but don't just use it arbitrarily. And then you can go into styles, make it less ugly. This is pretty ugly. You want your brand color. You should know your brand color as a hex 6-digit thingy. If you don't know that, I also don't want to talk to you, because
I didn't know there was such a thing.
okay, there's this cool thing. If you use Chrome, it's called Color Picker. Check this out, Color Picker. You just Google search Color Picker, right? This is my little favorite toy. It's just a browser. You just Color Picker online, Hex Color Picker. It's a Chrome plugin. It looks like this. Look at this. We find any page and there's a color we love, like, oh, I love that purple. And you just click this button. Here it comes. Ooh, magic tool. Comes over. Ooh, what is that color? It's 7A1D78.
Oh, you're kidding me.
And then you're rolling. So if your graphic designer, who may or may not exist, didn't tell you this number, you should find this number out. It's very important that you know your brand colors in a hex code, because then when you go to MailChimp, you can make the button really sexy, the right color.
Because you can just put the number in where it says
Here.
FFF.
Yeah. FFF. Just F it off. That's right. And you can bold it or not bold it. You can space it however you want. You can come and click all the buttons you like and make it look different. Ooh, buttons. Way sexier. And it's just clearer that you want someone to do something. If there's a URL, long blue line hyperlink thing, it kind of gets buried and it's just not clear to people. What does she want me to do? She sent me this email. I'm tired. I'm in my inbox. What do I do? You click a button. It's much easier. Am I being too
So
rude?
that would like send them to a direct page in your website. Like it might be a shop, or it might be a blog, or it might be
Event.
an event.
Or a product, or your website, or your Facebook page. You might be trying to get people to come over and like your Facebook page because you're going to run a content frenzy over there, or you want them to follow you on Instagram, or you might, anything, any URL. But there's options as well, actually, for the buttons. Look, web address, email address. So you could say, email me if you want to take action. Click email address, put your email address. You can put the message subject like November workshop, and then you can write here, hi Natasha, I just got your email about the workshop, and then they can fill in the rest of their message. There's anchor link, don't worry about that. File, you might have a PDF you want to deliver, and you can do that through here as well. So you upload the PDF. Woo! 6:30, I hope it's the dance break slide. Is it? I don't know if it is actually. Templates. Okay, let's quickly do templates. Templates. So now you've made the perfect email, branded, the pictures are the right size, you've got your fonts, MailChimp's not bossing you around. Look at this button, save as a template. Woo! That's one option. There's two ways to make templates. You do this one time and you get everything perfect. You're like, this is it, the zenith. You give it a name like fanciest template ever, and then you save it. Or the other thing you can do is, if you've sent a campaign before, instead of choosing, maybe I'll have to do it a different way. Say back here where we chose which template, and we chose this basic one. You can choose campaigns. So these are ones I've sent before. Once you've sent a few, and you'd be like, this was like the best layout. It may have all the links, half the links for your website, links for the event. It could have just the perfect pictures, or it's already got your logo. You just choose one of them next time you want to send an email. And once you've clicked Save Template, which I may have done, it should be here in Saved Templates. Look, fanciest template ever. It's just waiting for you. Now it's dance break time, I think. Okay, yes, create from scratch. Their templates, I don't like their templates, but you could try. Just, it depends. And work in progress, that's just that you're never probably ever going to have a fanciest template ever. It's like your website. It's never going to end, sorry. Like, you're going to make it and it's going to evolve and change. Like the whole branding thing, the whole business thing is a big work in progress. So yes, you'll have a great campaign you sent one time, or you have a template, but there's ultimately no amazing template. But say you've got a template and then you've got Bev to help you with your MailChimp or a VA or whoever, then you can go, I want you to send an email on Monday the 28th. I want you to use the fanciest template ever, and here's the content in an ugly Word document. You'll find the images in my MailChimp folder. Just go off and make an email for me, thank you, and you just kick back, probably do whatever you like, yeah. Go on holiday or just do something nice. Dance break, because that's intense, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so you're here now. It still says save and close.
I think mine did that.
I think it just wants to send from this page. Yeah, it wants to send from this page. It's just, I don't hang out here much anymore, so I don't really know how it works as well as I should. Okay, now you got the monkey, prepare for launch. Are you sure you want to send? And I think even once you click send now, I'm not going to click send now because this is not appropriate, but you click send now and then the monkey gives you a high five and then it goes off into the internet. But I'm not going to do that. It's cute. Yeah, it's cute. I mean, I'll show you ActiveCampaign if you want. It's ugly as heck, but it's much better. Much better if you want to do fancy stuff. ActiveCampaign. We'll go have a look at that. So that's it. So once you do that, then it's going to send it off to your people. So that's the end of that. I really want to delete that. So what we were going to talk about was growing your list, and I'm going to show you something in a minute. Okay. So now we've got our list over here in lists. You may just have your one list and that's cool. When you click on this list name, it goes into the other world of the list information. And you can look at the statistics about this list. You can manage the contacts. All kinds of fancy stuff you can do. You can export your list. So when you're Jack of MailChimp, this is where you come to get the heck out of here and go over to ActiveCampaign or something better. You can segment your group. So you might have people who never open and you might want to create a segment. So that's just a little group of the people inside the list who have done certain things or have certain attributes. It could be age or location, or you can add contacts. That's this button, and this is the settings. It's kind of another fancy button. You could go in here and click everything, see what it means. Sign up forms is the one we want to go to. So if you want to do some list building, there's a few options here. You can do a pop-up on your website using this. You just follow the robot. It just walks you through. I'm not going to do this.
How can I get to that page?
So from your lists, then the name of the list.
You don't want to list.
Click on one of those.
And then there's the sign-up forms, and there's these different kinds. Embedded form is where basically it's going to give you a piece of code and you're going to copy that and paste it into your website or somewhere fancy. But I'm going to show you Form Builder tonight because I've got 37 minutes. So if I share this link here, I call it the ePearl, but anyway, it's just kind of, look, let's see. You give this link to someone and they're going to be able to join this list and they're going to see this ugly sign-up form. Oh, so dreary. So I recommend you go in and you edit this bad boy and make it sexy. And you do that by, you can change this, you can edit here, you click edit, you can put a picture. I love a picture. I think if I sign up for something on the internet and there's a picture and then I get the email, the picture's there. And then the next time I get the email, the picture's there. My little mammal brain understands. This is all part of the same thing. Even from one business, I like it if different little channels have different pictures, and then I know where I am in the world because we're pictorial. We're not like, look at that. You're just gonna run from that. That's terrible. So yes, you can go in and customize it. Let's put an image there. This woman really has such gorgeous branding. Again, like it might be too wide, and we're going to do that. So that would be there, and then we'd go actually. No, that's a stock photo. She's just got good branding. Actually, this is an amazing freebie that you want to get. But you would say something. So this could be a landing page. It could be something on the internet that it would pop up and people would see it. You kind of need to remind people of the value they're going to get by joining this list. So, hey, this is the sign-up form for the whatever it is list. And when you get emails from me, they're going to give this kind of value to you. And it'll happen now and then, or it'll change your life like this. You can go on and on here if you like. Again, I don't let them boss me around. I choose my font. I choose my size. I choose how I want it to align. And then it looks a bit better. I spend quite a bit of time customizing these for people because I think it makes a difference, especially if you're building from an ad. Someone comes from a Facebook ad, they click learn more, they come to this. They're more likely to sign up if it's beautiful and it gives them a bit more information. So totally, yeah. So you can add all kinds of stuff into your sign up form. Here it's just a little drag it over kind of arrangement. Or maybe you click it and it comes up at the bottom. There it is, it just comes up at the bottom. And you can drag these around, you can call it something, you can do whatever you want with it. But I reckon just keep it simple and just have email address, first name, last name. If you're marketing overseas, the GDPR settings are going to show up here, which just say, as well as this one free thing, yes, you can send me marketing information, but I imagine most of us are just marketing in Australia at the moment. So then there's all these other things in here. So this is the first one. Then they get another email. Oh no, they get a different kind of picture if they stuffed it up and they entered their data wrong. it looks like this, but you might want a different picture.
Well, how'd you find that one?
Yeah, it's here in this.
Sign up from
It's just above the ePearl. Says it.
Form and response.
Yeah. So this
So
is.
that little URL that's there.
Mm,
Oh, I
So
see,
you go
thank
to your
you.
website then, and when you've got a click on button
Yeah.
on your website,
Yeah.
you could have click here to join my list or whatever
Yeah,
the words are.
that's right.
And then you would put that as the link.
Yep.
And then that would be linking the website to MailChimp.
Yes. Or if you've got your Gmail list and you're ready to start inviting people over to these emails,
Yeah.
you will share this ePearl link, and then they can come over. They'll see this sign up form. They're just going to be compelled to sign up because it's going to be so compelling. They're going to put their details in, and then they're going to be in your MailChimp
And
list.
each of those forms up the top that drop out of that grey box have got a different URL, is that?
No, they don't have a URL. Only this one does, because this is the first point of call. These are just
Okay.
other things that are going to happen. They're going to stuff up their data. And then they're going to see this. Then they're going to get an opt-in confirmation email. So this is going to go to their inbox. It's going to be from you to them, the subject. You could customize this.
Yeah.
And then you would definitely customize this. This is ugly. I don't like it when I get these ugly ones. I'd put a picture in here. I'd change the words so that it's... I sometimes just fess up and go, hey, my robots are sorting this out for me. Just please click this button, or whatever your brand language is. So there's that one, the opt-in confirmation. And then the final one that I highly recommend you customize is the confirmation thank you page. Because this is if you're giving them a free ebook, a free list, a free style guide, or a free, how to pack your travel bag, how to have a great networking event sheet, how to increase your energy, how to become an amazing psychic, top 5 ways, you could put it in here. So you click edit, you might just put here is your free ebook. You could hyperlink it to a file on your website, or you can actually put the PDF here using file. You can upload it. MailChimp will look after it for you. That's something ActiveCampaign doesn't do. It's probably better to send them back to your website, because you should have the Facebook pixel on. If you get them over to your website, you can run a Facebook ad to them. Like big interwoven webs like that can be really helpful for blowing your mind, probably more than anything. But that's where you could deliver your free thing. Or if you want, you can do the final welcome email, and then you have to click this button. But if you're sending a freebie, that other one is good enough. All it means if you send more emails is you can deliver more value. You could talk to them more. You could give them the next step in the process. You can keep the discussion going. So if you're like an overflowing well of, give, this is a great way to do it, because these people could become your customers. Don't give free sessions, or, don't give it all away in ways that aren't nourishing, is my recommendation. So that's the sign up form. Whew, we're back on the crazy train. Okay, growing your list. Automations. This is the next crazy thing. If you're just zoning out now, it's biscuit time. You can just kick back. I'm recording. So automations is where now someone signed up, and then you could actually deliver a mini e-course through automations, or you can just keep talking to people and tell them a bit more, like, oh, you got the free ebook. I also have a Facebook group, and I also have a website and a It's Cool blog, and you do it day after day. So you wouldn't do it all in one email. It's, oh, hey, hey, how did the ebook go? Or as well as the ebook, here's the 4-minute meditation. Or you can do all kinds of things, right? You might just send another one to get them to, oh, hey guys, like the Facebook page. Or if you have something that you want everyone to go through when they first join the list, you can use an automation for that. But free courses and challenges and this, things that you would do to deliver a mini training are really great with automations. So you nurture your potential clients with an automation. You help them get to know you, you give to them. It's like dating. You're not going to just get their email address and then suddenly they're going to become a client. You need to take them on the date, and then maybe you'll give them flowers. So it's a bit like that. You actually will sell more if you bother to nurture people, because they know you. And you can do it in a few videos, a few short videos, or just by giving something. People feel more connected with you, and they're more likely to want to engage with you, especially if you know your ideal client well, and then you're speaking to them. I just think of this one, my favorite client, and whenever I do my marketing, I just basically speak to her. I don't say her name, and I just get new little Mels wherever I go, because I'm talking to Mel, and there's more people with nearly exactly the same problem as her. Plenty of them. I have 6. How many billion are we now? On the planet? Wow. So if 7 billion, we think we're really unique, but we're actually in little groups with similar characteristics. So if you can think about that ideal person when you're sending these emails, you're going to find heaps more of them. It's quite magical. Also, maintaining the relationships with your existing clients. So you're not chasing new leads all the time. You can sell more to people who have bought from you before, or it might just, they'll think of cousin Nancy, or they're your word of mouth, like they're your free advertising. So it's worth staying in touch with them and still being friends, even though you've been married before. The mini course e-training, or upselling to a large offering like, oh, you bought this small thing. What about this other cool big thing that I do? Or they bought a big thing. Oh, what about this other cool small thing I do? So you can upsell or downsell. Let's look at one. I'm a bit nervous about doing this with you guys. It's so late. But anyway, we'll have a quick crack. So basically, there used to be another tab up here called automations, but they've changed it. And now they just call it an ongoing email. So Susan's got them. She's made them before, but I'll walk through a beginning one with you. Basically, if we click create and we choose an email, we choose automated up here. I'm recording, so don't worry. Now, they have, credit to MailChimp, they have a whole lot of template ones that are quite cool. And if you've got WooCommerce or Shopify, there's some cool e-commerce ones. You could go in and check them out. But I'm just going to walk you through a custom one that's very simple. I've lost some people, so I'm just going to go back. Yep, create an email, automated. So subscriber activity, like new subscribers. These are just that they have their own predetermined things that they want to tell you what to do. Well, you can do anything. Like I'm going to run you through a custom because I'm a rebel, and I'd give it a name like the free 5-day challenge. And you're going to choose a list. So it might be a brand new list that doesn't have any followers yet, because this is your new free course that you're going to be selling thousands of to people. You can do it for a paid product as well. If you have a paid 5-day video course or something like that, you can deliver it through MailChimp. You don't need to pay for a fancy learning platform. Okay, so we just name it, choose our list, and then begin. Into the vortex. Anyone need a bicky? I can bring the bickies around. No? You guys are powerful. Okay, yeah?
We're just a bit lost.
Yeah, come.
So we went to the campaign. Well, let's create. Yeah, and then an email.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
You can get it everywhere.
Can I just get one photo, guys? Just sort of looking like you're really busy working up this thing.
I'm writing.
I'd rather let you know, because that way you give me a better possibility.
We can still
Back to work. 25 minutes. Okay, so basically, this is how it looks when you're making your automation. Just looks like some buttons and words at the moment. Okay, but there's a trigger. So trigger's the thing that starts this automation thing. So how are we going to start it? Their suggestion, which is junk, is after they're manually added to the workflow. I don't recommend you be manually adding people, but that might work. You might be manually adding people. That might be why you want, how you want to start it. But my favorite trigger is change trigger. Always get so lost. So, you know, look, there's so many options. It's so easy to get lost in here. It's hideous. list management, I think. Sign up. So this automation would work for someone who's sort of signing up from your website or signing up from a Facebook prompt or something. That's what this automation is. We're going to wait any time. Are we going to wait a day? So say they just signed up, they got the confirmation, they got the ebook. If you didn't send the welcome email, you could send it right away, or you might go, oh, it's a bit too soon, I don't want to rush it. I'll talk to them tomorrow or 2 days later, whatever you decide. And you can also trigger it when they're imported. So say you've been to a market, you paid someone to put it in a CSV, you imported them, they all get added to this as well. It's up to you. So that's your trigger. That's what's going to start it.
Mine doesn't say what you said when I press trigger. Edit trigger.
There we go. Yep, so change trigger. Yeah, sorry. And then I chose list management.
That's what I missed. Thank you.
It's like, I learnt this at about 11 p.m. over months, up ridiculously late, just burning the candle at both ends, and learnt really the hard way. And it's just an awful way to learn, because you can see it's just like way too much going on here. It's just horrible. So I'm very passionate about helping people with MailChimp, because you don't want to ruin your life on MailChimp. It's hideous. Okay, so basically what we have is we have this email, my custom workflow. We've got to rename that. So we click design email. Go away. Okay, so this is basically the email. Again, this is internal use only, so I would probably call it free e-course email 1. And then this is what they do see. So you want this to be compelling, like day 1 of the free training, or if it's not a free training and it's just a nurture sequence.
Some recipes.
Yeah,
You selected
something.
the new trigger, which one did you select?
Yeah, or list management. And then sign up. Yeah. So for wheelers or for a local business, it might just be, a bit more about us is a bit boring, but some way of saying I'm going to tell you more about us to help us get connected, and it's going to make them open. So it might be something about oysters because people have come to Wheelers for seafood, or it's something about the products. And I think connecting to emotions is really helpful. People operate, they're emotion driven more than they realize. So if you can connect with emotion, that's really helpful. Yes or no to emojis. Preview text, just like the other campaign, you don't have to put anything. And then you just click next, and it goes into the same, leave me alone. It's late, MailChimp.
Goes through the same what?
It goes through the same process as when we made the campaign before. So hopefully now you've got your fanciest template ever. You're just going to click that and use that for the email. And here it is, and we're back in this wonderful place.
Okay, so when you go find your fanciest ever, you actually click save templates.
I did, but you could,
find it there?
yes, or you could find it in past campaigns. You could start from scratch. You can go down that wormhole again. So once this has got the right picture, it's got the right words, day 2 of the e-course, or here's some more cool stuff in my shop, this is other ways I can help you, then you just click save and continue. And that's the first email. You can edit these things, like you might only want it to send at certain times of day, or you might only want it to send to certain segments. You can click all these and see what they say, but I just leave them alone. I'm like, if someone subscribes at 4 a.m. and they want, they're up, I'm going to send them an email. Sure, why not? But if you only want it to deliver at certain times, you can control that. Now we're going to add an email. We can change the trigger. The trigger this time, a subscriber is sent the previous automation email. That's good. But this time I want to wait 2 days because I only just talked to them and I'm kind of an intense person. And if I get up in their grill, I'm probably going to annoy them. But it could be 2 hours later. It could be 1 hour later. It could be a week later. It could be a day later. You can choose. And then here it is. So that's my first one. And then here's the second one. Same process, click design email, go create an email, and on we go. You can add heaps more. You can go as many or as little as you want. But I recommend if you have an email list that people can sign up to, that you'd have at least 1 or 2 emails just to help people get to know you and get a bit deeper in the relationship with you. And you would do that through an automation.
So if you're doing the 5-day thing, you just make 5 emails.
Yes, that's right.
And then you can schedule when
yeah.
You don't have to do it every day.
That's
schedule.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the robot's just going to roll it out for you. That's a great thing to have on your website. Is, you know, you might have 5 days of travel tips, and, you know, day 1 do this with your bag, or day 2 these kind of accessories, the / proof bag, and the 5 top destinations. Or you have to brainstorm about what people want to hear from you. Yeah, yeah. Give us your email.
Yeah, that's the energy exchange, remember?
Okay, we did that. That was all right, guys. You guys rock.
Fine. I'm still awake.
And this is the final mind bender. 712 is your API. So that's fancy, horrible jargon. It's just a little weird piece of code, and you can actually integrate your MailChimp with all kinds of things. You can get it on your website. If you end up using a fancy e-course platform, you can integrate your MailChimp with that. You can integrate it with PayPal. So someone clicks a button, buys something, then they get added to a list, then they get the automation. So you can run e-courses paid without having to pay for an e-course platform if you integrate your PayPal with your MailChimp, and you get the automation to deliver the content. If you have face-to-face bookings with people, like Bev, if you're booking people in Acuity and they book a session with you, then you might send them, here's my service agreement, and here's the terms and conditions, here's what you need to prepare before you come to meet me. You can roll that out with an integration. There's lots of things you can do with it on your website, like too many to mention. And for that, you need your API. So let's go and look at the API.
Just tell me what API stands for.
All people interested.
Yeah, I don't even know. That's pretty bad, isn't it? Let's get out of here.
It's not something to do with an application, just integer. Don't ask what the piece is.
Thanks, Bev. You come down to, oh, hang on, I've got to get out. I'll just go back. So from your dashboard, okay, and so once, okay, say we've made it all, and we've got all our emails, then you have to click next and you have to actually activate it. So, oh yeah, there's, yeah, well, if you keep going with the process, eventually it'll say start workflow, and then whenever someone signs up, they'll get sent this email series. But until you go through that final process, it will just sit there as a draft. So, back at the dashboard, here in this drop down, there's a thing called account that we sort of vaguely looked at before. This has got lots of cool stuff in it. Mostly, I would say the important things are your settings, where you can change your details. So if you change websites or email address or physical address, any of that, you go into details. You might change your business name, but you want to keep your email subscribers. You can change your account name. It's got your, set your time zone so that you send, I've just had a nightmare with time zones on Facebook because we were set to Los Angeles. So my ad didn't start running anyway. All kinds of stuff. So it's worth going into your settings. What's it called? Into your account tab, having a poke around. But this is where your API is, under extras, API keys. Susan's probably got some, but you may, of course she has, you possibly don't have anything, and I think there's just this button, create a key. You just click that and it makes an API. And then here it is, this weird long piece of numbers. That's your business. When you're in somewhere and they say, we want your MailChimp API, this is where you come to get it. So you can just go back to zoning out now because I'm recording. Yeah, it's very handy. Like, it integrates a whole lot of things and it makes fun stuff happen.
So that is the number you might put on your website, like a URL.
Yeah, well, when I'm building websites, I use Divi Theme, and they have these really cool modules. Oh, look, I've got someone open. So for a list builder, we can just link this theme up with MailChimp. and we just pop the API in, and it makes really beautiful sign-up forms. I'll see if we can just build one. Here we go.
So you're using the API from MailChimp, but you're using your web builder on the web page.
Yeah, we make a little.
The URL from MailChimp, you're going the opposite direction.
Yeah, I'm going to make it look beautiful. So I choose email opt-in, and then I can make it way more beautiful. And here there is this email account thing where it's going to ask me for my API key. Yeah. And so that means when people on my website see this form and they fill it in, it gets added to MailChimp.
Yeah.
But it depends on. So say, oh, I'm going to show you my computer. You know, you're on this person's website and you decide you do want to sign up for her form. It looks nice. It's in the context of the websites with the website branding, but this is performing a MailChimp function. It's adding everyone from here over to MailChimp without an ugly button or a weird long hyperlink or the ePearl. You don't have to use the ePearl. It's a little bit, yeah. There'll be times like from that stuff you did with Jason with that plugins and things like that. There is a MailChimp plugin. There's a lot of places where you can integrate it with MailChimp. Like Acuity is a really amazing calendar scheduler that I highly recommend. And yeah, you can integrate it with, oh God, logging in. Are you going to just do it? Go on. So yeah, this is a schedule. I say when I'm on, when I'm not on. People get my link. They can just book with me. They can book with me and then they automatically get added to my MailChimp.
So all of that's happened without you even talking to them.
And for me, they pay.
Yes. Yeah, you can also, if you pay for Acuity. Yeah.
Oh, so I
Yeah.
use Stripe for that.
Yeah. Yeah, you can use Stripe as well. Yeah.
And you're saying you don't actually need to use PayPal or Stripe. You can actually use MailChimp to do that. Is that right?
No, MailChimp won't process payment. You need to use it. Yeah.
What did I hear then?
They'll sign up on they'll sign up the subscribe to the email.
They'll get added to the
email. Book
emails.
in at Acuity without you having to do anything.
Yeah. So they could schedule their appointment and you send them the client intake form from MailChimp. You send them an automation through MailChimp. Oh, you just booked with me for your session. Before you see me, here's my terms and conditions. Please read this. And here's my booking form. It's like a Google form. And they go off and fill that in. They land in your clinic and they're half onboarded already. And MailChimp did all that for you.
But I think someone actually has to do that.
That's right.
I've got all that info and I think that automated campaign thing you just showed me before is actually going to do what I've been trying to do.
That's a nice segue. Thank you. Because if it is all really overwhelming and you need help, as well as Bev, I can help. This is my package. I just call it the Clarity Action Package. You've got to think of names for your things. It's so hard to market yourself. So this is a $300 package. It's basically we do a 1-hour session where we get really clear on your business, what you want to achieve. Maybe you've got a launch or you've got some project you've been dreaming of. That's what I've often done this with people about. Or maybe you just know you're a bit unhinged, your marketing's a bit random and you just want some help.
No.
So the first 1 hour is like we figure it all out, map it all out. We set timelines. I'm going to do this. You're going to do that. This is how it's going to run. And then for 4 30-minute sessions, I help hold you accountable. I might do technology coaching. Like I have one woman, she comes, basically I just do her MailChimp emails with her and we just sit together and we work through it. She's trying to learn it, but I still end up doing a bunch of it. Or there are women who are, delivering e-courses or delivering sign-up list builders or whatever you can think of. I can possibly help you with it. So we do 4 of those over 30 minutes. So you can either do it over 5 weeks. So we do the 1 and then 1 a week to follow. Don't know with Julie. Or we can do it fortnightly, or basically you can take 3 months if you want. It's fine. But there's 4 30-minute sessions as well. And it's a mix of me helping you and actually doing things, because I find we can do this workshop. We're going to go home, have a bath, have a wine, and just go, oh, no way. But it's the taking action that's going to really propel your business forward. And so I enjoy doing workshops, but I love helping people take action. that's way more satisfying. So that's what I do there. And there's next level, if you really just want a pina colada, you can just kick back, and I do done for you services as well. So that would still involve some kind of face-to-face consultation, but basically you're like, dude, I don't want to do that. You just say, set me up my list and make my automation. You just dump me some ugly stuff in a Word document, give me your PNG background logo and some pictures, and go, hey, just make that all happen. So that's an option as well. Ta-da! And now I can do some questions. 9 minutes.
Gee whizzes.
Time's flying, isn't it?
I'm going to stop. Oh, maybe I won't stop
No,
recording.
Please record the questions.
Just that last part, and I don't know if, I mean, you did record it, but so you're putting that API key somewhere on your website or something.
Yeah, it just
Can you
depends.
explain that a bit?
Yeah, this is my favorite theme. It's very gorgeous. This website's not finished at all, but it's very easy user side.
Yeah.
And this is just a template that they spit out. Some graphic designers spent heaps of time making this really gorgeous. And basically, I just click this button and I can play around with it and put my own stuff in.
What button was that?
Enable Visual Builder. So you've got your WordPress site that's self-hosted. Now you can put a theme on it, and the theme controls how it looks. More, the plugin sort of affects the functionality more. The theme affects how it looks. But this is it's just a beautiful theme. And so now we could add in our email list builder, and that's where we'd need the API. So they have all these cool things, contact form, all ready to go.
Okay.
Yep. And this is where we'd put our API.
What theme is that?
It's called Divi.
Oh, that's the theme.
Yeah, well, this layout,
Yeah.
I can't remember. They have heaps of layouts in here. I shouldn't give away all my secrets, but it's not really that secret. They have all these. Like I built a gorgeous website using this. It's gorgeous. And basically, I just put her brand colors and her pictures and her words in, and then integrated it with her MailChimp for her. Yeah, you can do. It's $250 US for a lifetime license. So for me, it totally makes sense. Yeah,
You've got quite a few websites.
I have, and I'll keep getting more people asking for that, which is fine because I quite like it. Yeah, so that's just one way that you'd come to her website. She'd say something amazing, be like, yes, totally want to get that thing from her. Put your details in, click subscribe, and you're added off to her MailChimp list using that API key. There's a few times you get asked for it. PayPal will ask for it. There's a few people who are like, what's your API for MailChimp?
Right.
Like, oh, I know where to get that.
But basically, when you link your API, whatever details go into the box or to PayPal or whatever it is, it just gets thrown then into a list in your MailChimp. Is that right?
Yeah. Acuity is a good one for it as well, that booking one. Especially for people like you with the onboarding thing. You can get the robots to do half the work for you before the person even lands with you. It's really a massive time saver.
So that's like a client-based. I'm not sure what.
Oh,
that
that's
is
right.
that
She's
you
a
do,
naturopath. It'd be the same for you.
Yeah, so I was wondering because the other one's like Eventbrite. Is that not?
Eventbrite's for events. There's Calendly is another scheduling
So
tool.
if I was running, because my programs will be like a 9-week program or term program.
This is great for that.
And this is Acuity.
Yeah, because what I love about Acuity is you could have, like I helped Jo Sakamani a little bit with hers. She does the woodworking classes. So you can go, this class costs this much. It's 8 classes over 8 weeks. The people have to sign up for each class. And they have to pay ahead, this and that about it, and I'm only going to have 10 people, and then you just send the link off into the world, and they all just go and book themselves in, pay for themselves, and shazang, you've filled up your workshop.
And so when they fill up, you can then have you can have an automated email that goes back
Onboards
out.
them.
So I would have a parent email that says, I want the information about your child now, and would you accept photos?
All of that. It's all done. It's pretty nice. Or even for online courses, you can limit the numbers, or you can use it. It's fancy pants.
What about an online course that could be like I'm not actually active in it. It's a learning thing. So it means someone could sign up today, someone could sign up tomorrow, someone could sign up in a week's time, but they'd still get it in their own time and manner. Is that right?
Totally.
Because that would be an automated based on your first buy-in.
Yeah.
When you buy in.
That's right. It's not time dependent. Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter when they.
So my API is also in my MailChimp, you know, thing.
Yeah.
It's another way to find it.
Yeah. Yeah. If you've got the plugin, you will have needed it to link it up. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah. I haven't had much luck with the MailChimp plugin, but it was a long time ago that I tried, so it might be better now. I'm just not a huge MailChimp fan. It's funny that I'm running a MailChimp
I
workshop.
know. I don't know if that's good.
Well, no, it's just that it's the entry level one, and it's free. It's a lot of people use it. I know it quite well. I know the bads and the goods. And
so you're saying Acuity would do all that MailChimp does?
No, Active Campaign. I can show you that. It's ugly. Look how ugly it is. It's so ugly. It has a double sign-in process. So annoying.
And if all else fails, you get 2 PI to develop it and lock it all into the one program online.
What if you've got 10K?
I got my mail in, I got my booking, there's the software, but then you've got to pay a fortune for it.
Yeah, it's a fortune. So this is what Active Campaign looks like. There's no monkeys. It's not cute. Like, this is so pretty.
My WordPress, it's got my booking, it's got
Sorry,
my
what's it
mail.
called again?
Active Campaign.
Yeah.
But there's no free version. And what is fancy about it is the automations. So it's just way more fancy, and also the tagging. Yeah, it's way better, but that's all
I
right.
suppose it depends on your marketplace. I mean, I'm targeting a family market, general family. They're going to be used to seeing MailChimp.
Yeah, well, you can make it look however you want, but say this is a Active Campaign automation compared to a MailChimp automation. It's really a choose your own adventure.
Yeah.
Like, this actually got sent back up to here. There's also a yes, no. You can end the automation. You can send people from one list to another. Yeah. MailChimp, you have to do that manually. So this is really, you probably don't need it.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
I just like it because I like playing this choose your own adventure game, pick a path game. And often my clients just need this level. You can also tag people. So if they click a link inside the email, you can tag clicked through to sales page, but did not get to the thank you page. So you know they're interested. They're so interested, they went to the sales page, but they didn't buy. And then you can send them an email that's going to help convert them, because you know they're like that close that they went to the sales page. And then you can send them more.
How much time do you spend looking going?
Well, it depends what your business is and how much time you've got. Yeah, it's another world. Yeah.
I've always wondered how come I've got those emails that say, "Oh, we saw that you didn't buy. What went wrong? You know, how can we help you?"
Yeah. Robots, fancy robots. Yeah. There's a lot of options. I'm going to close things down now, guys. 7:30. Thanks for having me. Pleasure. I'm going to stop recording now. So we can all